Hello and welcome to Please Don't Send Me into Outer Space, the podcast intent on exploring all that science fiction and fantasy has to offer, one movie at a time. My name is Mr. Joel. Is anyone else on this podcast?
My name is Sarah.
My name's Aaron.
The movie this week is SpaceHunter: Adventures in the Forbidden Zone from 1983, directed by Lamont Johnson, and written by Stuart Harding, John LaFleur, David Preston, Edith Ray, Daniel Goldberg, and Len Blum. Those are some Marvel Comics writers, I think. Some of those.
Oh, nice.
Starring Peter Strauss, Molly Ringwald, Ernie Hudson, and Michael Ironside. And it says Andrea Markovici as Chalmers, but her character is collectively in, 5 minutes of the movie?
Yeah, pretty much.
She was bound to be my favorite character. I was very sad when she was just suddenly not there.
Yeah. I think the movie could have used her a little bit longer.
Not that there's anything wrong with Molly Ringwald. I think she did fine.
Yeah, I think so too. But yeah, I chose this movie this week.
Oh, Aaron, this was your pick.
This is my pick. I picked it because I remember distantly watching it and remembering that there's some pretty crazy in this movie. And while I was driving over to see you guys, I was like, yeah, I kind of want to relive that. See how that was.
You were
Cool.
dreaming about the zone.
That's right. Oh, no. The Zone, yep. Zone Part 2. Here we are.
Get me out of the zone.
Yeah, people don't realize this. This is actually a sequel to Tarkovsky's movie, Stalker.
I knew it.
And Molly Ringwald's character is a tracker. I think she really is just a stalker.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
She's way more confident with her abilities.
Yeah.
Then the crazy Russian guy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the crazy Russian guy was definitely having some existential crisis. All the crises on every checkmark, everything. Yeah.
Well, it's a complicated world. This is a very straightforward world where
Yeah.
if you land on it
Yeah.
and you're a person, you're going to get kidnapped either to be used in some sort of American Gladiator-style survival game.
Okay.
Or as not even a sex slave. I don't even...
Mm-mm. I think they were going to eat them.
Well, I mean, Michael Ironside playing Creep Job Master.
Oh, right,
What's
those
his name?
guys. Sorry, I was thinking of the Amazonian siren women.
Oh, I mean,
Sorry.
You got to talk about groups of people
Oops.
here. We got
Spoiler.
so many to talk about. What was your favorite? If you had to pick a favorite clan of weirdos from this movie.
The ladies that crash landed in the beginning.
Yeah. Space babes.
Wait, they don't count as the weirdos from this movie.
Hey, they're a tribe, dude.
Those are normal
They got
people.
big hair. They got flashy spacesuits.
Those are specifically the normal people in this movie. Everyone else is a weirdo.
Let's
I
talk.
don't know about that. They were talking about Earthers and stuff, and I
Yeah.
think the most normal person is supposed to be the leading guy, and maybe Molly Ringwald. Even
Our
though
Han Solo
she's
character.
been living on this terrible planet. I don't know.
Well, I was thinking specifically of the many tribes of goobers who constantly are reaching for them as they're traveling around on their space truck or whatever it is.
Well, this we soon find out that this planet is full of goobers because there was some type of plague. And this plague marked the planet uninhabitable
Right.
for further colonization. So I believe that their supply lines were cut off. and therefore that's what reduced them to this Mad Max-like state that we find them in.
Situations.
Yeah.
All of them were pretty messed up and creepy in their own way.
There was a pretty cool aesthetic to a lot of the vehicles in this film. And this has nothing to do with the goobers, obviously, but I enjoyed a lot of the vehicles that were present in this movie.
I can tell that you guys don't want to talk about the goobers. You're just passing by those goobers.
Well, no. Sorry.
Aesthetically wise, like a lot of the sets on this thing are amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It seemed like they had a pretty good budget, and there were a lot of really cool areas that they filmed in that you could tell they had spent time and money and work to make it look like it was something otherworldly.
Going back to your original question, though, favorite tribe of weirdos. It's probably either our cocooned giant inflatable weirdos,
the giant baby monster,
the gross obese coming out of the sack.
Yeah.
What were they like in a?
The nothing but trouble baby creatures.
They were hatching or something.
Yeah. In my imagination, I figured this was like somebody trying to come up with a population control issue, like a science project gone wrong, perhaps. Maybe a cloning mishap. Then the other one was our freak out weird baby monsters that are kind of just hanging out in the middle of the desert throwing bombs.
I thought they were just born, and that like the sea turtles, they just are running for something. They're
We're talking about the fleshy guys still?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Born
total sea turtle.
Ready to take off and get something.
Blah, 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 blah. I don't even know.
Sacks, that's what it seemed like.
Yeah.
Like
weird cocoon.
Kind of gross, like chrysalis thing. The suits they were wearing to look that way, actually, I found kind of refreshing from some of the other type of, like, fat suits I've seen people wear in movies. Like,
those weren't suits. Those people are disgusting.
The other ones I've seen in movies, it's like they always try to make people look big and shiny and, like, bulbous, like, areas of fat on them.
Yeah.
And in this situation, okay, the faces were terrible. But the bodies looked like they were wearing, like, kind of a big, leather suit or something.
Yeah.
That wasn't, like, as, like, balled out or, like, shiny. It looked like you could run in it, like if it was, like, a leather trench coat or something.
Ew. They do a lot of running and jiggling, and grasping. They're just one of the many tribes that loves grasping.
That's right. Everybody's reaching out for you in 3D.
In 3D.
I bet this movie was in 3D, though. It had to be.
Oh, it totally was, yeah. I looked it up. It was in fact, it was in a different aspect ratio.
Oh.
But I don't think that the 3D version is available anymore, but I actually didn't look that far into it. The copy that's on Amazon Prime looks stellar. Like, somebody put a lot of care into, like, making a nice, high-quality HD version for our pleasure here. And I did very much enjoy this.
It's almost a 4-star film here,
Mm-hmm.
We're looking at a 3.5-star movie,
those
guys.
143 people. They like it.
So,
IMDb, not so much.
What was your favorite Crazy Planet tribe, Joel, if you could pick one?
No, I gotta go with the Amazonians, although they don't really...
Ha-cha-cha.
They didn't really do much. Like, they were like you said, they were like underwater sirens.
Yeah. I think they could have made them into allies at some point and had maybe overthrown Michael Ironside's character that way, but maybe they were just hungry. They wanted to eat them.
They had so many ideas they were just throwing. Like, we gotta throw everything in there.
Yeah, pretty much.
I feel like when they planned this movie, they were like, well, we don't want it to be boring.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to, like, encounter, like, a bunch of stuff along the way. Like, and in a way, it kind of reminded me of Battle Beyond the Stars.
Okay.
In terms of, like, the way things happen in the movie and, like, how they interact with different... I mean, this was not really set in space. There's, like, a few minutes in space, but it's mostly on the planet that they're on. I think there's a lot of shocking moments in this movie. The first shocking moment is these three ladies crash on the planet and come out of these weird suits and, like, styrofoam.
Yeah, weird, really weird looking, super shiny, like, really well designed, like, alien looking pod suits or whatever, like these, like, they look like appendages sticking off the front of them.
They had, like, three serpents or something.
I had a strange feeling that they were, like, part tea kettle. Because they all had, like, that weird...
When they were done, they'll start whistling.
Yeah.
And these, like, leper creatures, like, come and get them.
You mean the goobers? The space goobers?
There's so many weird creatures.
They're plague victims.
They must get away from them. We don't know what happened. It looks like they're getting captured the last time we see them, and then the next time we see them, they're on a train to Fametown or wherever.
To Fametown.
You know, they're on a sailing train that's on a tracks that.
Were they imprisoned at that point?
It doesn't seem like it.
I didn't get a feeling that they were imprisoned, but I also didn't get a feeling they were very safe either.
I think they must have been imprisoned in the sense that they weren't going to let them go. But they weren't, like, in danger.
Okay.
Yeah, that was one of the parts that kind of made me feel like Waterworld.
Yeah.
The machines and, like, the weird guys fighting with their weapons. And then, yeah, they look like they're snapping the ladies' necks.
Yeah.
And we thought they were dead. And then these weird guys come flying out of the sky called vultures that are, like, on these, like, wind, what do you call them?
Well, they're like rocket propelled, whatever. They're like hang gliders.
Hang gliders with rockets on them.
Ewok style hang gliders. And they're spewing smoke, and yeah, they put these special, like, these special loops on the girls that we all assumed were dead because we saw people break their freaking necks.
We saw them getting their necks broken.
It wasn't like they got paralyzed, touched, Spock style.
Or put in a sleeper hold.
They made a bone snapping noise, too. Like, it was very legitimately the guy twisting his neck and her no longer conscious.
We were all confused because we wondered why they would even want them if they were going to kill them. But it turned out that didn't kill them somehow.
Turns out snapping your neck, not a death move.
Whatever species they were, we don't know what species these three ladies were. Perhaps they have
They're Earthers,
spines. Dude. Well, he's an Earther. I don't know about that.
Oh, they were Earthers as well.
How do you know? Did you check?
It was on the galactic computer, dude.
Did you check the tag? Oh,
yeah,
you mean when they were looking up the case there?
Yeah, when you saw his space socks, when Wolf was reclined in his living quarters.
A nasty Wolf.
Living that single man life. The socks rubbing up against the space window. His dirty socks.
That lady that he pulled out of stasis, she's like, I'm entitled to 4 hours of rest.
Yeah.
And that takes on a different meaning when you realize that she's like a robot, like probably like a sex robot.
Well, yeah, I mean, we can only assume since he bought her a special nightgown that doesn't go below her waist, basically, or just, it goes just below her waist to cover the hips. And all the guys in the audience, eyes pop out of their heads and they have to put their 3D glasses back on.
Oh, that's right. It wasn't 3D.
She seemed very human. I thought she was just like a girlfriend or a coworker at first. And then, something about the dynamic between them made me think that they were probably in a relationship. And then she got shot by one of these weirdos when they were having the firefight over the ladies that he was trying to rescue.
Yeah.
And, he just decided to melt her.
Yeah. She got damaged, and like we see that she's robot, and then he presses some button on a thing, and it very graphically melts.
I felt like she could have been saved, maybe in the Cherry sort of 2000 way. Like he could have like rebuilt her if he wanted to.
Yeah, it seemed like they had a relationship, like a, if not necessarily just a sexual relationship, like they were buddies, They joked with each other and stuff like that, but I guess it was just like, I'll have to get a new one.
It was a little unjarring seeing his lack of empathy of the situation, if that means anything to you too, but to me, obviously when I was a kid, I was just like, wow, laser fight. But like now as an adult, I'm just like, oh man, like he just like afterthought, press that button. She melted.
Vaporized.
He done.
Yeah.
That's it.
Don't worry. He gets a fresh one later. Not a fresh robot, a fresh partner.
Yeah. Some of that implication didn't really come through till, this time viewing it. So,
well, I guess he's not. In Cherry 2000, he was overly attached to his robot.
Okay. This is the opposite end.
This is like the guy is just like, whatever, it's just a robot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Cherry 2000, he's so attached to the robot, he's willing to put his life in danger.
Is this kind of how the Wayland Corp kind of feels about replicants, you think? They just don't give a about it?
Probably.
They're just like, I got millions and millions of dollars. Let's just make another one.
I mean, we could...
You know what I mean? Like...
Yeah.
Maybe we can assume that, like, maybe he has, like, her memory backed up on the ship or something.
Oh.
If we wanted to be nice, but...
Joel's fanfic, better than the movie.
Yeah.
Just saying.
And then Ernie Hudson saves the day. By the way, Ernie Hudson's in this one.
Yeah, on that topic, he's pretty awesome.
He is very awesome.
I like him in this movie a lot.
Not enough, though.
Yeah, not enough.
And Molly Ringwald, who shows up as
smells bad.
Kind of a scroungy character that's been living on this planet, and
I got like a scroungy Luke Skywalker kind of feel from her.
Oh, that's interesting.
From this time around when I was watching it.
I could see that.
She's got the I'll never get to the Haji station kind of thing going on.
Right.
But with her broken Earth language.
Yeah.
Lack of words and whatnot.
I speak Earth good. Don't try to brain trick me.
That's right.
She's like a much younger, stinky, smelly Melanie Griffith from Cherry 2000 once again, because she's a tracker.
Oh yeah.
Melanie Griffith is I don't remember if she's specifically a tracker. I don't remember, but she's hired to take him to where he needs to go.
That's right.
But we're supposed to. Wolf is a very capable man. He shoots, he scores, he drives.
That's right.
He looks like Kevin Sorbo. Maybe it's just the hair.
That's what I thought. You just look at the picture.
Yeah, I'm looking at him. He's looking at me, and I don't like it.
I felt his he was pretty fun in this movie. He didn't really, he definitely, packed with those one-liners,
mm-hmm.
ready to fire him off at the appropriate moment. But definitely the scene that made me laugh the most is when he saw those watery sirens and just that smirk. Yeah, that smile.
Like, yeah, like, dude, you're surrounded by a bunch of, they're scantily clad, but they're all holding weapons.
Yeah, that killed me. That killed me.
This isn't Hell Comes to Frogtown.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that it's one encounter after another. And they run into those guys after the baby creatures, right?
Yep.
Yeah, they are trying to go through this, like, watery area. And of course, as soon as she jumps off the truck or whatever into the water that something's gonna grab her from underneath. Because that's, like, everybody's worst nightmare.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then a hand comes up and starts grabbing her, and then it turns out to be these women that are, like, underwater creatures born to fight.
Born to find things for their water dragon to eat.
They chill with dragons.
That's right. They chill with dragons.
They didn't seem to like that dragon. I don't think that they were necessarily associated.
They coexist, at least.
I felt that they were capturing them for probably to watch it eat, and they were going to eat whatever was remaining.
I thought that maybe the dragon was just not expect. I mean, they run away as soon as it shows up. So I think it's just a creature that they occasionally have to deal with. It could be easily taken care of if you have like some sort of laser pistol.
Fair enough. I guess that is kind of like one of the all around solutions for this movie is laser gun. Maybe that's why I liked this movie as a kid, because I was like,
I mean,
that seems to fix everything. It
does seem like really action packed and like an adventure movie that has unique stuff in it.
Yeah.
It does make me wish that there were some space movies that didn't have so much, like, danger of death in them. I wish that wasn't the only challenge that they were facing in space.
Yeah.
But I get it. Those are the most popular stories that are set in space, because it's so... We consider it to be such a fragile environment,
Totally. I guess, but space is like the opposite of an environment that one can live in. So I guess it's always kind of one of those threats, right?
Yeah.
Death by space.
Yeah, and, aliens and stuff. But, or just environment. It's just like the air in some movies is like what's gonna kill you.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, they're lucky in the beginning when their escape pods end up on this planet, when it just randomly explode. I really like that beginning scene with that super cool looking space ship.
Yeah, I want to be there.
Like
I want to try it out.
Cruise ship or whatever.
I want to be in that ship, man.
Oh, I bet it's like except for the fact that when it starts going wrong, they're like, "Don't worry, everything's."
Yeah. No. Yeah, lulled into a safe sense of security.
Yeah.
But it definitely felt like someone had taken like a bowling ball and melted it into a spaceship. In a lot of ways. All magical looking. I bet Zaphod Beaverbox used to hang out on that ship.
Totally. Absolutely correct.
Yeah, they created some cool silhouettes of things and some cool shapes, like you were saying. Kind of a mix of different things. My least favorite was when they went to the zone where the dog man?
Oh, that the Overdog.
Overdog was.
Overdog.
Because that just looked like a big mess. That place had
It's a trash dump.
It had like silly string and like half empty sodas.
I liked how Overdog's like minion was like, we've taken all that was good of this planet and now we're using it.
The chemist.
For our pleasure.
I'm like, and you guys look like you're having lots of fun. Yeah, congratulations.
And like the camera's panning over like a bunch of bubbling pots of like unknown substances. We've taken everything that's good.
And now, don't worry, ladies, you're going to be part of the good things now.
From the trash people who were on the wind-sailed railroad at the beginning of the movie, they mention the old man mentions that he was one of the original doctors.
Oh yeah,
who had landed. I think in my Aaron's fanfic that Overdog was one of the other doctors because he mentioned that there were two.
Oh, I was thinking
two the original
chemist.
Yeah.
Or the chemist.
Or maybe the chemist was the other doctor.
Because they were trying to... It seemed like they were trying to make the chemist into an important-sounding character. Like, even Nikki, that's Molly Ringwald's character, at one point is like, oh, this is the chemist's area, and, like, he's been trying to catch me for years.
Well, I feel that Overdog must have had some importance, though, as far as the original colony was. Because why else would he have? Why else would he have this technology allowing him to gain this sort of unnatural length of life?
He was just born that way.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
Yeah. No, so he needs to clip those fingernails.
Yeah.
And those teeth. He had a grill before it was cool.
Yeah? Way before.
Yeah, and that part where he says to Wolf, "Get out of my grill." That doesn't happen. Sorry. So, let's see. The story of this movie. I was about to say this video game. We don't talk about video games. Is that...
What have you been playing, Joel? If we don't talk about video games.
I've been playing Pokemon Go.
Sick.
And I caught some Pokemans.
What have you been playing, Sarah? If we don't play video games or talk about them. Please don't talk about video games. The secret podcast inside our podcast.
Animal Crossing.
Oh, so sick. My mom and dad have been playing that. I've been watching them.
And what else? I gave my nephew a character in there, and he was so excited.
Yes.
And what else?
My mom and dad, they compete with the fishing contest.
Oh, yeah.
They have the Wii version of the game.
A real competitive thing.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Animal Crossing's badass, guys.
Yeah.
It is very good. But this movie is not Animal Crossing.
Right. Yeah, that's true. I've been watching people play video games on YouTube. That's my current trend.
That's all I do. I don't play them myself anymore. I'm too lazy to try.
I'm probably going to play Fallout 76 pretty soon here.
Sure.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
We've been watching a lot of Jeopardy since it's been on Netflix.
Oh, tight.
He's like, don't go on
okay.
a tangent.
All right, sorry.
Aaron, tell me the story.
Please don't play video games. The secret podcast
Aaron,
inside of this is now concluded. Thank you for listening, guys.
Story of SpaceHunter Adventures in the Forbidden Zone.
Well, this is a movie about explosions. Because
wait a minute.
The movie starts with a spaceship exploding.
Okay.
Landing on a planet.
Uh-huh.
And then there's just a series of explosions leading to a spaceship flying away from a planet. Sometimes good guys are in these explosions, sometimes bad guys. Also, there's tiny children singing in unison.
You are fired.
Oh, okay.
He does force Molly Ringwald to take a bath. That's one thing.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about that, so I was hoping when we got to the story we could talk about how weird that was.
He's got Space Pert Plus for her colony dandruff.
It's one thing for him to be like, "This is a stinky child. I'm gonna wash this child," except for. After the whole bathing thing, it's revealed that, like, it's Molly Ringwald. It's an underage Molly Ringwald. Everybody, take a good looks Costanza.
She kind of looks a little bit like a dirty Furiosa to begin with like the paint, the face makeup they'd given her.
Mm-hmm.
Furiosa with hair, I guess you could say, like a stinky one.
This is before she loses her arm.
Yeah, before she loses her arm, yeah. And then this guy just, like, throws her in this radioactive pit of water. I can only imagine that it's not radioactive, you know, and decides to throw some shampoo on her. And yeah, I'm just gonna say I wasn't very cool with that scene. You know, I didn't feel it was very, needed. But I guess that they kept trying to make this point that she was real stinky.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I don't know if it needed to be in the movie.
I thought it was funny when he had her and throw her in the water, and then he like actually has soap on his person.
Yeah, well, that's the thing that kind of makes the scene like funnier in my opinion as well. That he had the soap ready to go, you know, like in his utility belt.
Mm-hmm.
That this is just a thing. Like, I mean, if this is a thing, why are his socks dirty? Is all I'm trying to get at. Like,
he's only got one pair of socks.
If he's so worried about, yeah, I guess that's true. I mean, his robot's already making fun of his, his vocation as junk man, or what was that? What would she call him? A space garbage man?
Space garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the feeling he must have been like a bounty hunter or something like that. Kind of thing.
Absolutely.
Because he was trying to get that reward.
Yep.
Well, even his ex-friend Mr.
Yeah, Washington and him.
Washington.
Ernie Hudson, who is awesome.
I like his space snowplow that he's driving in this movie.
I don't think I've ever seen him bald before, and he's clean as my friend Joey used to say, which doesn't make any sense. Clean as a whistle on the top of his head.
Oh, right. I don't think I've ever seen a dirty whistle, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't know.
What do you think his life was like? That character.
Before he crash landed on this planet and was forced to try to make a deal with Wolf, I think he had it pretty good.
Yeah,
I have a feeling. Now, Wolf was trying to, of course, demean him by saying that the sector of space that he was being a patrolman of was kind of a one or a stupid one.
He was also, being like, you have to follow orders.
Yeah, that was the idea, being that Wolf can't follow orders. Wolf,
he's alone. Wolf.
But Washington even mentioned that but it sounded like also that maybe he also was kind of a criminal. Wolf was, because he was like, even that you're here on this planet, I have to arrest you now. And maybe that's just because this is a quarantine planet. Maybe that's what it was. But I got the feeling that maybe he was outside the law in a lot of ways.
Maybe he's a deserter or something.
Yeah, I also got that feeling too.
Yeah.
It's funny that he's not. Neither one of them are completely capable of doing the job on their own. It's like Wolf is pretty bad, but he's getting his
the planet is a harsh planet.
Yeah, his vehicle is not able to handle every situation, and he doesn't actually know necessarily where he's. I think once his android mistress goes down, that was going to be his navigation. So it's like he went into that. What was that? That was like a silo full of corpses just randomly. What was the point of that?
I don't know. I guess it was just world building.
It looked awesome,
or something. Yeah, just a bunch of skeletons falling on you.
Kind of Indiana Jones
Totally.
Yeah. And they ran out of water at one point. They were about to die. They faced a lot of challenges.
I think that's what my young self really enjoyed about this movie, is the quick pace. There's not really a moment to linger for the most part. Just full of challenges.
Oh yeah,
crazy stuff going on.
Mm-hmm. And plenty of creepy moments too, like when our three ladies are presented to Michael Ironside, and he's like, "Undress that one." No. Undress her slowly.
Cringe factor times a million, guys. I immediately was like, I'm sorry we're watching this.
I just started laughing because it was so gross, but over the top.
Oh yeah.
That it was somebody wrote that for this guy to say to that girl. And you can't imagine what this guy's intentions are. It's one thing to just be a scared person, what is this person about to do to me, for the ladies in that situation, but this is a weird cyborg creature that is gonna drain them of their life force or something.
Their vitality.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to remember what, I feel like I've seen characters that look exactly how they had Michael Ironside set up in this movie in a whole bunch of different pieces of media or artwork or other movies, and I can't really place it, but it was it's like a mixture of Hellraiser, the Doctor in Hellraiser 2, and then a little bit of Dark City going on there.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously Darth Vader, a total reference to Darth Vader. But in the Dune 2000 RTS, to go back to video games.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that our secret podcast is done within a podcast, Joel.
There's a third party. There's the Harkonnen. There's the what
House Atreides.
Atreides, and then there's another party that
the Bene Gesserit witches, perhaps.
No, it starts with an S, and they're green. They're
Sadikar.
Green. They're all kind of
I think those are orcs. Sorry,
machinish people.
Oh,
so they're
You're talking about the trade. The trade. Never mind.
I don't know. I can't remember. But there's stuff going on there. And of course, that's like specifically referencing David Lynch's movie, which I don't know what year that came out. Aaron, tell me.
The year in which the movie Dune came out.
Piker.
I don't know. I got to drink some spice maybe and trip out for a minute. The water. I must drink the water of life, Joel, and then I'll tell you.
Did we talk about Dune?
We did a Dune. We recorded Dune.
Okay.
Maybe we did, or maybe I just dreamed it.
No, I think we did. We must have. I remember watching it with you guys, and I was naked, and then there were a bunch of marshmallows that fell out of the sky and hit me in the eyeballs.
Yeah, it sounds like you had some spice.
Yeah, I had to turn to my homework, and everyone made fun of me.
The spice will flow, Joel.
Ooh.
Some people can ride a worm.
Man, any more movies? I mean, need more movies with guitar solos while people are riding on worms. That's all I'm saying. I'm down.
When you think about it, this movie didn't really have that many alien creatures other than that weird dragon thing.
Yeah, no, mostly you're just kind of seeing the remnants of humanity trying to just get by in their post-apocalyptic sci-fi world.
Yeah. And plenty of variety of humanoid things, so like it's not really a complaint. Because
are we supposed to get the feeling that earlier in the movie, before Wolf meets Molly Ringwald's character, the tracker, like is he finding like the remnants of like what the colony was like beforehand? Like because he has those like skeletons land on him. You're kind of seeing the interior of this like deteriorated ship. I don't know. I just got a feeling like that was maybe like how humanity started there, and before they tried to come up with alternative ways of surviving this harsh environment. I don't know.
Yeah.
A lot of layers.
Yeah.
I feel like if you did watch this again, which I probably will at some point, that you probably could actually pick out like details that they'd put in without exactly spelling out. Like the movie does a really good job of not specifically spelling out, like, well, this is the way this is because of this, kind of thing.
Well, I got the feeling like a lot of the problems we were running into were them trying to, or the states of crisis our characters are landing into, or we're seeing the results of them trying different ways of surviving, like those weird pod people. That was like some way to like continue the population maybe, but it just didn't work out. Overdogs figured out a way to survive, but because, he's caring more about himself, he's just taking the vitality that he can from non-plague victims.
Yeah, using that trippy, I don't even know what did
the weird mirrored tunnel with neon reflectors in it.
A funhouse like spinny thing.
Right. Like where people throw knives at you or something. Yeah. His lair, man.
Not a fun place.
He had all these like torturous things that he wanted people to run through and stuff. And then he puts people on this like, it reminded me of like a heat lamp that like you turn on to stay warm.
Totally.
He's like laying a lady on the coils of this like what looked like a heat lamp. With, like, air coming through it or something. I don't know.
I'm going to take your vitality.
He was a convincingly creepy character.
Michael Ironside.
Yeah.
You can always count on Michael Ironside.
Yeah.
Like, I can't think of a time where I've seen a bad performance. And, like, most recently we saw him in, what was that mini-series about the guy that in old New York that were trying to solve those murders? I'm talking about
in old New York.
In old New York. And it's got I'm sorry.
No, Joel, you're amazing.
The Alienist.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like the mayor or something like that.
I could see him being a pretty creepy mayor kind of guy, like trying to keep the peace, keep it under wraps.
Oh, so that's one problem with Michael Ironside. You never see him go like, that's probably a good guy.
Yeah.
That's true. He's typecasted as a villain.
If somebody does too good a job at being a villain, it's really hard to not see them that way. I think.
Yeah.
So I think, you have to be careful and maybe like change your appearance as an actor to like be seen in a different way.
Take
again.
a softer role, perhaps, or some type of supporting actor role or two.
Grow a full beard and mustache.
Wear a wig.
Sometimes I wonder about actors' careers. I wonder, like, later on. Because, a lot of the actors that we see as, like, serious, like, actors now, they started off as kind of like a pretty boy, like, actor in the beginning or something. And I'm thinking, like, oh, imagine some of the young actors now that come out as, like, a pretty boy. Like, they could end up being, like, the serious, dramatic actors.
Very true.
In the future. If, like, yeah, anyway.
I mean, it feels like they have to want it, like...
Oh, yeah, they have to work.
Like, people that get... it's a trend with people that were stuck in franchise movies, like the Harry Potter series or the Twilight series. Like, a bunch of those actors actually got out and, like, completely separated themselves from their roles from there and just took as many interesting projects as they could.
Mm-hmm.
With the exception of Taylor Lautner, who was no good to anyone on this planet. But, there's lots of examples of that.
I was just thinking about Bryan Cranston, how like he had this, like dad role and as far as
in the middle.
TV is concerned, and where most of the time he's just a goofball, and he has a couple shining moments of brilliance where he's like, he finds himself or whatever, but then he's always kind of thrown back to this like, I can't get anything right. And then you got freaking Breaking Bad, where it's just like, wow.
Yeah.
And then Godzilla or whatever.
Yep, that's the last thing he did. They threw him out.
They threw him out. We're done with you, Bryan Cranston. Can I be Lex Luthor? No.
Thank you for your service.
And he's
should have been Lex Luthor.
He's like a totally different, like, rich, like, bad guy in Sneaky Pete. He's like a crime lord, but like, yeah. Anyway, he's like the kind of person who wears a suit all the time and stuff, and he's...
I haven't seen Trumbo
totally
yet.
Different. Oh yeah, I loved that movie.
Got to see that one
I
sometime.
loved that movie. He has a wacky mustache in that movie because the guy actually did. In
Trumbo
life.
had that mustache.
Yeah,
he stole it directly off his corpse.
Oh wow, Bryan Cranston sure does like to get in that role.
You know an actor that we have not ever seen after SpaceHunter: Adventures in the Forbidden Zone? Peter Strauss. I was like trying to look at his work and see if he was possibly in anything else, and I think this movie was a huge box office failure.
Oh,
it came out the week before Return of the Jedi.
Oh dang!
They had big competition.
Yeah, they did that on purpose, but I think it was to their detriment because they had a big opening weekend. They had their budget was $11 million, and they made $7 million on the first weekend.
Yeah,
which is halfway there. All you got to do is keep up the momentum, but after that point. And I think this is we're looking at the screen here on Amazon, and IMDb 5.4 out of 10. And I can only assume it's because the kind of people who go on IMDb and rate things are the kind of people that might not be into this movie. Now, we've gone 150 deep on frickin' things, and I gotta say, this movie was way more entertaining than some of the other stuff we've watched.
I feel 5.4 isn't a very accurate representation of this movie. I would say it's probably a 6 or a 7.
Yeah, I'd give it a solid 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was that entertaining too. I don't know if I would want to watch it again, but I definitely found it interesting to watch one time through, and that's more than I can say for some of the movies we watch on this podcast.
I feel if I ever go to one of those Wasteland Weekend sort of events where you dress up like a Wastelander, that I might want to watch this movie again to get some inspiration on some some pretty fun costuming ideas.
Man, dress like a vulture.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Sure.
Otherwise, I mean, it was a fun revisit, but I think I'm done. As well,
I think that's what would be really cool if you could is to get a motorcycle and then just put one of those weird
those little shells. Yeah,
I thought that was cool.
That would be so fun.
Okay, so this is our plan. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna set up a bunch of chain link fences.
All right,
and dig some holes in a pathway type thing, and then set up put a bunch of spikes on the front of my car or something.
Okay.
And then we'll just force people to, run through blades and like fall into a bunch of like spiky stuff like in Suspiria. In that one part where the girl falls into a room and just happens to be filled with razor coil or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what you keep at your ballerina school. It should just be a room full of barbed wire.
Yeah.
The problem with the gauntlet in this movie is that nobody had one of those giant spheres that you have to try to push over the track.
Oh yeah.
Or the Q-tips where you fight. But Molly Ringwald does go over a balance beam.
She really does.
And that was impressive.
The only other movie I can compare the Gauntlet, as you referred to do it to, as other than The Running Man, is the late 90s Dungeons and Dragons movie.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
It has like a tryout sort of a dungeon thing in it.
It's a dungeon with a treasure at the end that the King of Thieves has not been able to get.
Oh, okay.
So our stupid-haired hero and Snails.
That's right, Snails.
Marlon Wayans.
Man.
Go into the trap. Now, how many times have I seen this movie, you may be asking? The answer is once at the movie theater. The reason I know it so well is because We Hate Movies has a really good episode on it.
I'll have to look that one up. I unfortunately had a copy of the VHS tape, Joel.
There's nothing unfortunate about that. That's something to brag about. That's something you can tell your grandkids about.
I don't know if I want to tell any grandkids about this. Anybody's grandkids.
Hey, you bought movies on VHS because you didn't have a choice.
This was given to me, Joel.
Oh, okay. Was it Grandma?
No, Jose gave it to me when he worked at the Fillmore Video.
Oh.
Me and Jeff came in and he's like, "Hey, you guys are into this, right?" And he pushed the tape towards us.
He was such a pusher back in the day. He'd be like, "Hey, listen to this."
Yep. Yeah. And Jose, I appreciate you for that. Thank you, man.
Yeah, he was probably like, "Hey, Joel, let me talk to you." And I'd be like, "Leave me alone."
Jose Serna, thanks for introducing us to some stuff.
Yep. Pepe.
Yeah, I used to like finding those weird things in Fillmore Video.
Yeah.
Just random stuff.
Good memories.
Yeah.
Was it Rolf Lundgren's Punisher movie? Dolph. Rolf. Rolf is in like the Muppet.
Yeah, the Punisher is
the Punisher is Rolf.
The Muppet.
I'm down.
That is a bit that I don't have the comedic talent to come up with.
Well, they killed my family. They gunned down the frog, so I had to go get him.
Why don't we just go have a nice picnic?
I got to stop the electric company. The electric mayhem.
You'll never get away with this, Kingpin.
And in translation, it says, "When I was a boy."
We're not so different. You and I. Yeah, it's not too much of that movie. TV show. Okay, so yeah, Space Hunter. Thanks, Aaron.
Yeah, thank you guys. I had a good time with it.
Yeah, I didn't even think of this. The name is SpaceHunter. Adventures in the Forbidden Zone. SpaceHunter.
Yeah, they were asking for this to be like an ongoing series, and yeah, it just unfortunately didn't make it. I'd watch another one.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that's cool. What do you mean?
That they wanted it to be a franchise?
Oh, okay.
I think there was a lot of potential. If they really wanted to be a franchise, I felt that he probably should have saved his robot lady. So he could, fix her up. I guess you're right, disposable.
Go buy a new one.
Right. I'm forgetting I'm not part of the culture of this movie, so I don't understand how disposable your fembots are.
You just gotta... This movie emphasizes that women are disposable.
Yeah, I know. It literally, right in front of your eyes, the lady melts.
And also, they stink until you bathe them.
Yeah. Oh, no, fair enough. No, you're right.
You know what? I hate this movie.
She would probably be back in the sequel.
Oh.
Just new
model of her?
Yeah, but the same.
So, when Bishop comes back, an alien? All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
You know it. All right, I'm going to read the outro stuff. You guys think of a lesson you learned from Space Hunter, Adventures in the Forbidden Zone. This is usually where I come up with something else I didn't think of before, but Now I'm just burping. Hello, listeners. If you have any suggestions or comments you want to give directly to us, stab us directly in the heart with your constant prattle. Wait. Anyways, you can write into us, please don't podcast@gmail.com, or message us on Facebook, facebook.com/PDSMiOS. If you got a few dollars, we'd love to receive all of your fresh money. All you have to do is go to Coffee and send it directly into my precious account. That's ko-fi.com/PDSMiOS. All these links are in the show notes. So, for $3, what can we offer our listeners for the small price of a cup of coffee?
We could strap them up to your vitality sapping machine, and much like Underdog, we could just collect their dollar bills.
Well, that doesn't seem like a benefit for them, but yes, that's what we'll do.
Well, they might be into it.
Yeah, that's true. You know what? Don't write it.
We could get a bag of candy and eat it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, with your $3? Yeah, and we could talk about that candy.
Yeah.
Candy talk.
What else could we do?
You could play a video game. A $3 video game.
Hey, you know what? Black Friday Steam sales. Woo.
Oh, yeah. There's so much garbage you can get for $3.
Oh, you know it. You know it.
You don't even need a sale.
Not even a game you'll download. It'll just sit there in your library forever.
That anime lady's looking at me. I got this game.
Hatoful boyfriend.
Oh.
Just saying.
That's like $10.
Wow. Big spender, Joel.
Hey, you pay a lot of money for pigeon love.
Anthropomorphic German tank love.
Yeah. $3 will buy that German tank game for Aaron.
Thank you.
And if you want to listen to more podcasts like why would you? You can check out the other podcasts at eartrumpetaudio.com. That is the network we're a part of. But thank you for listening. We all appreciate you very much.
Thank you, Ear Trumpet, for still allowing us to be on your network.
And by the way, if you're interested, some of the other details, our artwork is by Jed Dowtry, and our intro and outro music is by David DeRoy.
Thanks, you guys, so much for that.
Thank you, Jed. Thank you, David.
You guys have to remind me to say that. I've been leaving out. I need to put it back into the podcast. These are important people, and we can't thank them enough.
Thank you.
So, did you guys learn a lesson from SpaceHunter?
Well, I mean, the first one that came to my mind when we started watching this movie was that when you for your escape pods, it's real important that you have some type of discernible programming in what is a suitable planet to crash land onto. Because, yeah, sure, it had air, probably had some water, but your ship's got to be able to realize that, nah, go for the next one.
Right.
Leave this planet alone.
Should be able to detect more of what the situation's going to be once you open the ship.
Well, I feel like it was only a couple buttons and Wolf suddenly knew that, that this planet was uninhabitable due to plague. So, very easily, maybe your program could, look up the history of this planet. Because, I mean, very obviously, I wouldn't want to have the inhabitants of my spaceship land on a planet that was ridden by plague.
I mean, these rich people have probably been inoculated. See, there's that one scene where they're presented before the chemist, and there's the guy with, a syringe, and they're like, no! It, does slow motion, but I don't even know what that was about.
I just felt that was just to intensify the peril, the need for our heroes to get to them quickly.
Mm. And
just so they could all sit in a spaceship and laugh at each other at the end of the movie.
Something we didn't talk about. The way the chemist is defeated is that Wolf goes up and squeezes a bottle that's attached to him?
Yeah, I thought, yeah. You nailed it.
Okay. Sarah, did you learn anything?
Yeah, my lesson was don't with Michael Ironside.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've learned that lesson a couple of times now.
I really like the fact that whenever he wanted something done, he just lifted his claws up.
Yep. Yeah.
And then people would cheer or begin. Yeah.
Need I remind you?
Yeah. And then he had that weird kind of pump thing in front of him that was just kind of like
Weird.
operating.
Yeah, for me it was kind of a cross between Jean-Luc with the Borg.
Yeah, Locutus all the way.
And maybe the Captain EO creature.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I was definitely thinking Captain EO.
Yeah.
I like the claw from a claw machine kind of quality of his giant hands.
They only gave him 3 thingies, on each arm. That's not proper. I guess he's not doing anything except for picking up young ladies, literally and figuratively.
Yeah.
My lesson is that you can easily take out somebody and not harm them other than putting them to sleep by breaking their neck. And, sorry. Obviously, that's a bad lesson because it only works with women. We saw a man get the same thing done to him, and that guy died.
Oh, yeah, and that was done by one of our heroes, too, right?
Yeah, that was Ernie Hudson.
Yeah.
He's a man who knows how to break a neck properly.
That's right.
Oh, that's what it was. Those guys are amateurs.
Yep.
Yep. Well, can you still sap the vitality of somebody whose neck, if their neck's broken? Like if they're in like a coma or something, maybe?
It's not.
Is it the same level of output for their vitality?
I feel like you might be able to like wake someone up from a coma by doing it like the other way.
I don't think it really mattered.
Like unbreaking their neck, like putting in the wrong. Oh yeah, that's doctors haven't figured that out yet. That you just gotta.
It's like a shortcut on the keyboard.
It's like when you're your charging cable. You gotta have it in directly, in the right position. And if it moves, it doesn't charge. But if you got it right there, then you can suck the vitality right out of the power line.
Yeah.
You nailed it.
You figured it out.
Yep. Secrets of the universe revealed right here.
Thank you very much.
I'm trying. That's the best I can do is try, right?
That's right.
It's true. We'll see you next week, folks. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
EarTrumpetAudio.com.
Ideas and entertainment.
Loud and clear.